Hey there, my name is Stefan Christmann. I am a photographer and filmmaker from Germany, mainly known for my work on emperor penguins in Antarctica Bay. I spent quite a considerable amount of time in Antarctica, 26 months. I've just written a book that's out soon, and I am very happy to answer your questions. So let's start. So the first time I picked up a camera and really consciously composed a photograph was in 2002 on a student exchange when I visited Montana, especially Yellowstone National Park. And it was my very first time to this park, and I was completely blown away by the beauty and the vastness of the landscapes. And I had this little point and shoot camera with me, and I had absolutely no clue how to use it. And that's when I figured out I really need to learn more about this, and I really need to study how to take photos, and that's what got me started. My most memorable photographic experiences, wow, that's a tough one. There have been many, for sure. There have been a lot with the penguins, of course. I would say that maybe seeing the emperors underneath the Aurora Australis was one thing that I never thought I would get to see. And even now you can't see it, but even now, just when I think about it, I get goosebumps really. And it's like every time I think about this happens. So I'm quite positive to say that this was probably one of the most memorable experiences I ever had. Yes, there actually is an aspect of emperor penguin life that I have not photographed yet, and that is underwater. So I'm not a diver. I'm in no way experienced enough to do that, but that would be something that I would love to do. Seeing how they swim, how they glide under the water, how they hunt for fish and things like this, and how they jump out of the water. So filming them really close to the water and underwater, I think those are two things that I would really love to do, which I have not done yet. But fortunately, that can be done during summer season, where this place is a lot easier to get to. And who knows, maybe I will have the chance sometime in the future. So if you want to see a penguin in the wild, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an emperor, I think there are a lot of places where you can actually go. And the two first places that would come to my mind are South Africa and South America. And a lot of people don't know that there are actually quite a few species of penguins that you can see there, and that will probably be my suggestion. However, if you want to see emperors, that's a little tougher. I would say the best shot you have is work as a researcher on a research station, or maybe spend the summer season on one of the research stations and help with the maintenance work that is necessary to do that every year. That would be my suggestion. So the average temperature of Antarctica Bay throughout the year is roughly minus 17 degrees Celsius. And obviously every increase in that is a bad thing for the colony. But it's not only about the temperature of the air masses, it's also about the temperature of the ocean. And warming ocean currents in Antarctica Bay over the past years have caused the sea ice to form later in the season, but also break up earlier, which twice shortens the amount of time that the penguins have to complete their breeding cycle, which obviously affects them in a very negative way. And I guess what we all can do in order to slow down climate change, I don't think we can still stop it, but at least we can slow it down, is that we can make conscious choices about how we consume energy, how we consume resources. And I'm not a big fan of extreme measures. I'm not saying that you can never fly again. I'm not saying that you can never eat meat again. Just be conscious about your choices and try to limit your consuming of energy. Maybe walk instead of using the car. Switch off the lights a little bit earlier. I think a lot of small things can add up to something big. And if we all play our role, if we all take part in this, we can actually, without affecting our lives too much, change quite a bit, and also change a lot of things which will positively affect the future of the penguins. So that would be my message to you. If I were to give some suggestions on how to start working with penguins in Antarctica, I would say the best shot you would have is getting down there as a researcher, especially where the penguins are. Because, or let's say when you are interested in studying emperors, because those guys are usually not easy to reach. With the tourism boat, you can easily get to the Antarctic Peninsula, but you will not see emperors there. Emperors are usually further away in remote locations which are not easily accessible. And you probably also want to spend quite a bit of time with them. So my suggestion would be try to apply for jobs at the research institutes like BAS and AVI and so on. And I think this would probably give you the best chance to see them live and in person. Yeah, I'm not even sure that you can call it a new feature, but I would say the thing that has affected my work most is VR, or optical image stabilization. So I was a tripod shooter 100% of the time. And ever since the VR systems of current lenses have become so good, I have dared to go away from a tripod and shoot more handheld. And especially when I was working with the penguins, that was quite a good way to work because I could easily shift from standing up to lying flat on the ground, turning around without having the hassle to move a tripod around, and that got me a few shots that I would have missed otherwise. So I would say VR, even though it's quite old now, is probably still the stuff that I dig the most. I think for new camera features that my work would benefit from is probably, and I haven't tried this actually, eye autofocus, really good eye autofocus that also works on animals, maybe even works on emperors with black eyes and black feathers. And I think that would make life a lot easier if you could always be sure that the eye was in focus, because that's also what I try with my photos, of course. Aside from this, frame rates, I think we are quite high already, so probably no need for that. And yeah, as I have mentioned before, I've benefited the most from VR, so making VR even better so that I never have to bring a tripod again, ever, might be nice. There actually is a species that I would like to work with next. I'm not sure I want to give that away yet. Also because at the moment I don't know when I will be able to do that. You all know that traveling is not easy these days, and getting to remote places is not easy. Getting all the permissions is not easy. So there's a lot of work that I need to do on my end, a lot of logistic work. But I do have a few ideas, and you guys can be certain that you will be the first to know once this materializes.